Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good-looking people. Maybe you're good-looking, so always looking for and finding the good. That's the definition of a good-looking person. And thank you to the thousands, actually the tens of thousands now of people who tune in regularly to listen to the Hug America podcast with America's greatest storyteller, my dear friend Neal Foard, who is not able to be with us today because Neal does Dallas. That's what he's doing today. And he said, Barry, you can handle it. So if he says I can, I can. And I'm here to share with you what Hug America podcast is really all about. It's about that first word, hug. Hug is a fabulous acronym that stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. That's it. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. That is what the essence of a hug is about. Now, I'm going to put a date stamp on this particular show, and because we don't always do that, but I think it's really important today. Today is the 26th of October in the year 2023 by what we call the universal calendar. Every culture around the world, and still to this very day, has its own calendar. And that's wonderful. So people of various faiths and orientation can work with their own calendar because they've been around for sometimes hundreds of years, sometimes thousands of years, millennia, especially the Jewish calendar. The Jewish calendar is one of the oldest extant calendars in the world. Been available for over 3,348 years. That's a long run. I think even the Chinese calendar, the Chinese would admit that their calendar is not that old, even though there are parts of it that are. But it's beside the point. The point is that we're dating this in the universal calendar. Around the world, it is known as an overlay to almost all cultures as the year 2023. The date is October 26th, and it is now 19 days since the greatest cataclysmic upheaval in world history, certainly in the past 75 years, maybe 80 years. I'd say 1939, September 1st, was the last great world upheaval. That was the date, by the way, September 1st, 1939, that Nazi Germany invaded Poland and created the hot World War, known as World War II. September 1st, 1939. So let's say that would be 61 years and 23, that's 84 years. So it's been 84 years since a cataclysmic upheaval that is shaking the entire world. And it was an invasion and a slaughter by one group of people against another people. One group of people avowedly making a vow to try and kill and exterminate and cause terror with another group of people. So everybody knows what I'm talking about. But that's not what we're talking about today, because that's war. We're not talking about war. I want to talk about, and Neal wants to talk about, and you want to think about and act upon peace. P-E-A-C-E. So again, my name is Barry Shore. I am the ambassador of joy. Now, just to put things in context, people might think, well, gee, Barry Shore, how can you be joyful and triumphant? Oh, come ye, all you who are joyful and triumphant on these situations that are just terrible and horrid and gut-wrenching. Well, because let's understand what joy is about, a little bit distinct from happiness, even though they are two sides of the same coin. I work with my dear friend Edwin Edeberry, who is known as the Chief Happiness Officer for the world. So that's Chow, by the way, Chief Happiness Officer of the world. Chow, he chows down. And that coin has two faces. One is happiness, one is joy. Joy is it's an internal divine process that enables one to live in close proximity to that which is all encompassing, all beneficial, all good. Known in various languages throughout the world as God, Okay, but you can call God anything you wish as long as you understand that there is a creator in the world. We're not atheists and don't believe that there is no creator in the world. And that the godliness that we think about and worship and want to get close with is divine and is all good. And that's really what peace is about. Now, I will interject here and make everybody aware that on this show called Hug America Podcast, remember, HUG stands for Heartfelt Unlimited Giving, that really our channel of goodness, because we're all cogs here, is to be giving. Givers win, givers succeed. Now, givers also need to learn how to activate the two aspects of the human condition, which is giving and receiving. If one only tries to be giving and you're not able to receive what we call regeneration, then you'll end up becoming a drain on yourself. And as I mentioned to Neal in past shows and to everybody that is listening, and when I do so in my books and in my discussions, whether in person or online, we live in a digital world. And the advantage of speaking about that is because everybody knows that we live today in a digital world, not an analog world. You can look up the difference for yourself. We live in a digital world. In a digital world, one is either a fountain or a drain. And the best part of that is you can choose. You can choose to be a fountain or a drain. Now, here's one caveat, just one. It's an asterisk and a caveat, and it's at the footnote, and it's in big print, not small, fine print, big print. And that big print is that if you choose, say, I'm going to be a drain for the next hour or 10 minutes or day or year, my part of my life, you can't be a fountain at the same time. You're going to be a drain. They're mutually exclusive. So I urge you, I plead with you, I beg of you, I implore you, I would use any method possible to try and convince you that you want to choose to be a fountain under all circumstances. Now, let's be blunt. Sometimes the fountain is only a small bubbling fountain. Sometimes it's a gusher like Niagara. I didn't say Viagra, even though that's, I think, the derivation of how that name came about. But the ability to be a fountain, a giving, evanescent spring of benefit in the world is really the calling of life. That's what I say. Now, you don't have to agree with me, but I do stand on firm ground. And I'll give you part of what I'm standing on as firm ground. And that is the word peace itself. Now, I think you may know, because people listen to this or listen to other of my interviews and podcasts and things like that, I speak about the three fundamentals of life. And these three fundamentals will make you happier, healthier, and wealthier when you follow them. The three fundamentals of life are, number one, life, your life has purpose. And when you lead a purpose-driven life, number two happens. Now, in this case, a good number two. You go mad. Now, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. Lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference. And the third fundamental is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. Now, simple example. Everybody loves to wear what I'm about to say to you. Oh, it's so encouraging. It's so warm. It's so inviting. It's so beneficial. And what is that? It's a smile. Everybody loves to wear a smile. Now, I'm going to give you a little side motion for the moment and say, I don't care what kind of smile you wear. Fake smile, large smile, small smile, real smile. It doesn't matter, because the act of smiling on your face touches your very being. We know this by study after study after study, that even such a thing called a fake smile, just moving your lips and opening up your eyes and the teeth and such, that causes a physiological and a psychological benefit. It touches you. You can't smile and be angry and upset at the same time. Okay, you can try it. And I'm sure some of you are trying it right now. Look at me, Barry. I'm smiling and I'm really upset. Well, you're really not. It removes part of that upset. So now let's go back to our point here about fountain or drain. I urge everybody, I encourage you, implore you, beg and cajole, try and convince, be a fountain. Be that ever flowing fountain that will help you, your family, your friends, and all living beings. I mean, what a wonderful way to live. You think about it. Give him the wind, say, I'm a fountain. Yes, that's what Barry Shaw does in the morning. His wife elbows him and says, shh. But he gets up at 5:23 in the a.m. I go to sleep at a reasonable time also. I get at least 7 hours of good, solid sleep. And that's very important, by the way. We'll talk about that maybe in another show. Sleep is a miracle cure. It really helps a lot. So when you get up in the morning, your mindset, your set of your mind is that you're a fountain. You're not a drain. And when you start choosing that regularly, day in and day out, month in, month out, year in, year out, you will be a fountain. Will be times when the fountain is less than sometimes more? Absolutely. Hello, it's called life. LIFE, which stands for Living Inspirationally for Eternity. Remember, we talked about uncovering the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms. SMILE is a wondrous acronym that stands for Seeing Miracles in Life Every Day. Wow, Barry, that was great. WOW is another great acronym. Words of wisdom, words of wonder. I learned what WOW was from a 23-year-old a number of years ago. It was a great, another time, another story. The point is that you are capable of utilizing that which is most powerful in you, which are your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, to be a fountain under all circumstances, even in these trying, cataclysmic days that are roiling the world. So why do I ask you today specifically? And we gave a marker because, again, this is 19 days since the greatest upheaval in the past 84 years. And it's touching everybody. And it should, by the way. It really is a time to be touched and to make a decision and to make a firm commitment to yourself, your family, your friends, to be a fountain. Let's take a look at the word peace. And then I'm going to take a look at the word war, but only as a contrast. So peace, for me, is an acronym that stands for purposely effecting, that's the E, all. Purposely affecting all, creating exuberance. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go into the office or be with your family and say, wow, what a wonderful day. The world is at war. I mean, okay, come on. That's craziness. That's bordering on insanity, not sanity. You want to stay in the sane part of the world. But that's what peace does. Purposely effecting all, creating exuberance. And you do that through what I call joy. Notice I didn't say joy. Joy. Joy is a fabulous acronym that stands for Journey of You. And I specifically mention it today because that's really what we are discussing. Hug America podcast. Hug, heartfelt, unlimited giving. Joy, journey of you. We all come to a fork in the road. Oftentimes, many forks. As my father would used to say to us, he taught us how to learn how to eat in a civilized manner. When you put a piece of food on a fork and put it in your mouth and start chewing it, he would tell us, put the fork down. Fork you, he would say, and laughing and such like that. Fork you, put the fork down. When you come to a fork in the road, as Yogi Berra would say, take it. The fork right now is the choice. Are you willing to live in peace? Now we're going to take a very short break. We have a commercial sponsor. We love them, and we urge you to patronize them because we wouldn't have them on otherwise. We'll be right back after this brief message. Don't go away. There's more peace and fountain on the other end. Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved, immortal beings, and good looking people. Maybe you're good looking. She's always looking for and finding the good. My wonderful partner, Neal Foard, America's greatest storyteller, your humble host, Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. And we're discussing today peace. It is just so absolutely important to understand that you can make a difference. You can go mad. You can make a difference in a small way, in a smaller way, in a smaller way, and then in a big way, because all those small pieces add up. And what I'm talking about are three things that you can do immediately to make the world a better place. Because when the world, your world, is better because you're becoming the best you. Remember, that's what this show is all about. Not about Neal, greatest storyteller in America, or Barry Shore, the ambassador of joy. It's about you, Y-O-U, you becoming the best you possible. And when you do that, you make the world a better place. You build more bridges of harmony, create more joy, happiness, peace, and love. Love stands for living on vibrant energy, living on the vibrational plane. So let's talk about what we can do. Three things we can do immediately. One is smile. That's right. If you need to force it, force it. If you don't have to force it, just wear it. And if you can use it and wear it a little more today than you did yesterday, that's how you're increasing peace in the world. Purposely effecting all, creating exuberance, a smile to somebody that you may not have noticed before, a smile to somebody walking down the street, a smile with maybe, oh, hello, how are you? And you don't just walk by, you actually stop and look at somebody. That makes a difference in the world. You make a difference in the world. You create these ripple effects of goodness, of joy, of happiness, and peace that can never be stopped. See, the ripple effects of goodness will emanate. And when we join together one with another, right hand outstretched to somebody, left hand outstretched to somebody, that's 2, now to 4, to 8, to 16, 32, 64, 128, etc. We can create together a tsunami of goodness. Isn't that a wonderful thought? A tsunami of goodness. Talk about being a fountain. If you are even one drop in the tsunami of goodness that's rolling across the world, well, you're just as much a part as any other, whether it's a bigger amount, it's 6 drops, 5 drops, 100 drops, 1,000, a million, doesn't matter. You're all part of that tsunami of goodness. Always. That's what we call a toga. You want to wear a Roman toga? Tsunami of goodness, always. That's one thing we can do. Second thing we can do is really just, it's an adjunct to what I just said. And that is to use the 2 most powerful words in the English language 3 times a day, consciously and conscientiously, from now and the rest of your life. The rest of your life, because when you do this, use these 2 words, 2 most powerful words in the English language, consciously and conscientiously, you make a difference. And being mad is a wonderful thing. And these 2 words are, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank stands for to harmonize and nurture kindness. To harmonize and nurture kindness. The Dalai Lama has been quoted as saying, and I read in his writings, be kind whenever possible. And he says with a twinkle in his eye and a smile on his face, it's always possible. That's right. Now you might say, well, that's easy for you to say. You're the Dalai Lama. You're an incarnation of something that people call God. Well, yes. Guess what? So are you. That's what we call the word say. Hey, say. So are you. You are a child of God. In the Bible, it reads that humans were created in God's image. We don't want that image to be marred by killing and destroying. And you can kill and destroy not just with bullets. You can kill and destroy with words, with anger, with hate. Speaking of the Bible, I like speaking about the Bible, by the way. I find the Bible to be instructive, insightful, and I mean INSIGHTFUL. Sometimes it's insightful, INCITEEFUL, in the sense that it incites me to be better. I want to be better today than I was yesterday. I'd like to be better now than I was a half hour ago. That's the reason people tune in, by the way. And we thank you by the thousands and thousands and thousands. And all we ask is just share this with 5 people. That's it, 5 people. And rate the podcast and say, I love it. And bookmark it. It's the 2nd and 4th Thursday of every month for the rest of your life. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? So there's where the Bible comes and has in the book, it's called in English Ecclesiastes. What a great word. It's a Greek derivation. And it's just, you can look it up. I won't even spell it because it gets complicated when I start spelling it out. But look up Ecclesiastes. And I'm not sure what chapter and verse it is, actually. I just realized. I think it may be in the 7th chapter, but that's beside the point. You look it up, and it's the chapter called Time. A time for love, a time for hate, a time for war, a time for peace. And it goes through 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 permutations. And these permutations tell us that time is not static. Time is dynamic. Things happen in the world. Things happen in life. What we choose to do about it is really the key of life. Matter of fact, these 6 words that if you can internalize, utilize, and leverage will stand you in good stead from now and for the rest of your life. These 6 words are choice, not chance, determines your destiny. How you choose to respond in any given situation will not only help choose your pathway in life, whatever it's going to be, but the trajectory. So we're back to this idea of a time, different times, and you'll look it up and you'll see. So what we do practically, I'd like you to say, you'd like to. You know why? Because you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? Say these 2 words, 2 most powerful words in the English language. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks stands to harmonize and nurture kindness 3 times a day. Consciously, conscientiously. Not just a random thank you. That happens also. I'm talking about 3 times consciously and consciously. You engage your thoughts, your words, your deeds, and you're actually thinking about, or maybe even looking at somebody and saying thank you because you appreciate. To tell somebody how much you appreciate them is a wonderful thing. That can be done by saying thank you, consciously, conscientiously. I'll give you an example. Imagine you walk into your coffee shop and you order a fancy latte and you sit down and somebody brings it to you. You say, thank you, consciously, conscientiously, right? You walk in the coffee shop, you order a fancy latte, you sit down, a couple of minutes go by, nobody brings it. So you go to the counter and they say, oh, I'm sorry, we're busy, we forgot. We'll bring it right to you, come and sit down. And a couple of more minutes go by and somebody brings you, still say, thank you, fully. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining out. Somebody holds the door open for you. You say, thank you. You're walking out of the coffee shop, it's raining out, and somebody slams the door on you. You say, thank you. Yes, right. You're practicing it. You're in traffic, you're late for an appointment, somebody cuts you off. You say, thank you. You get up in the middle of the night, you stub your toe and it hurts. The first thing out of your mouth is, yes, thank you. To harmonize and nurture kindness. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Therefore, be kind always. KIND is a great acronym. It stands for Keep Inspiring Noble Deeds. So we have 2 things that we can do, 2 somethings that you can show that you're living a purpose-driven life and you're going mad. You're making a difference. What are these 2 items so far? Smile. That's right. Smile, which stands for seeing miracles in life every day. See them. Understand them. They're there. Look for them because you're a good-looking person. Always looking for and finding the good. Number 2, say thank you consciously and conscientiously 3 times a day from now and the rest of your life. The final item, I only have a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to make this brief. Final item is to learn to love dog poop. Did Barry Shore just say, learn to love dog poop? Yes, he did. Wait a minute. You're telling me that's going to bring about peace on the earth? Yes. What does dog poop stand for? Doing of good, power of one person. That's right. Doing of good. What we call becoming a spiritual chiropractor. What does that mean? That means that you know what a chiropractor is in the physical word. You're sort of out of sorts and you come to the chiropractor, he or she goes, and now you're in alignment. You feel better. You carry yourself a little easier, walk with a little pep in your step, etc. We're talking about becoming your own spiritual chiropractor, which means your thoughts are in good, your speech is in good, and your deeds are in good. Dog, doing of good. You want to be a dog. That's God backwards. That's another story. Doing of good. Poop, power of one person. That's what dog poop is, the power of one person. Everybody knows about Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Gandhi. Yeah, those are people that mattered. So do you. They're in the same image of God as you are. They chose to be closer. They chose to live a life of inspiration. Remember life, living inspirationally for eternity. They understand that you're here for eternity. And if you reach out on your right and you reach out on your left, now you have 2 people, to 4, to 8, 16, 32, 128, 256, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We create that tsunami of goodness. So next time you're walking along the street and you're with a friend and there's dog poop right there near you or somebody's picking it up, whatever, you start laughing out loud, say, I love dog poop. And your friend will say, what are you talking about? Well, I listen to Barry Shore and Hug America podcast, and he's telling everybody how to love dog poop. You say, wait, what is that? You say, well, that stands for doing of good, power of one person. You're mad. You make a difference. You're living life with purpose. We bring peace to the world. Choose to be a fountain. Don't be a drain. Choose to get up and be a fountain. It can be smaller, it can be larger, it doesn't matter. Choose to be a fountain. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. So our blessing, well, 2 things from Neal and Barry. We're going to do a hug and we're going to do a blessing. I'll do the blessing first. Our blessing is go forth. Live exuberantly. Spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad. Go make a difference. Here's our hug. Heartfelt, unlimited giving. 1, 2, 3. Make it a great one.